Hello, welcome to Sound and Fury Book Review. As usual, I'm Tina. Today I'm doing a book review of Hopeless Necromantic by Shiloh Briar. This is a book came out June 2nd, 2026 from Orbit. It's a fantasy romance. I received this art from NetGalley in exchange for a fair review. And yes, sorry, I'm reviewing this on the release date again. I got so behind in my reviews. I'm so sad about that. Entertaining and fun, but somewhat light on the romance, Hopeless Necromantic is a fantasy for fans of D&D. What's it about? Sticks and stones may break their bones, but he'll just resurrect them. 4 years ago, I can never say his name, Sycrus Cat's Eye Nichabod had it all. A beautiful wife, friends and family, and the endless luxuries that came with being the all-powerful necromancer to the queen. Now his brother-in-law is a walking corpse. He's wanted for tax evasion. His oldest friend, Vesic, has slaughtered thousands of the queen's people with a skeleton army, and his wife is dead. Sort of. With the kingdom under threat, it's only natural for the queen to task Sycrus with the totally normal, not at all cruel chore of brutally murdering his dearest friend. Sure, great. It's not like he's already failed to stop Vesic's reign of terror twice or anything. Turns out it's hard to kill a monster when you can't stop remembering the good man he used to be. Harder still when you're pretty sure his descent into madness is sort of, hypothetically, all your fault. Raise a glass, raise the dead, just don't raise your hopes. Finally, an actual Raise the Dead necromancer main character. Yay! I've been waiting for this. There's like 4 or 5 books I read this year that are like necromancer, and it's not necromancer at all. So I'm very happy that this book actually met my expectations in that regard. So this book reminds me of a far tamer Vox Machina, or a more apt comparison would be something like Dragonlance. It's not cozy, but it retains this sort of feel-good, found friendship story throughout, even when people are dying or dead. It's also a very nuanced and realistic look at grief and the inability to let go. I was surprised by how much this aspect was included in the story, and also by how it wasn't like a downer, or shown this in Sycrus's actions, or lack thereof sometimes, then by long passages of lamenting. So I thought that was really well done. It never felt kind of like belabored in a sense. This book was very good at kind of showing and not telling, and I really appreciated that. To be honest, I was way more into this book as a fantasy than a romance, especially given the magic and the necromancer aspects. Of course, this could be because the main side character, Ben, is a skeleton. I love a sentient comedic relief skeleton, the character. I mean, I don't know why I'm saying this like it's a common thing, but it's definitely something I enjoy. Ben was like a real hoot. Along with kind of the other jokes that he makes or other characters make, Ben, despite being a skeleton, is like somehow super horny. I thought that was really funny. Honestly, Ben is the best character. I could read a whole book just about Ben. Tied to the jokes around Ben, this book has some other good comedic moments, more so lines like, and this might be removed or altered in the final, the freakish charm only a sea of malodorous rats can bring, and Sycrus knuckled his spine, feeling less like a man in his 30s and more like an ancient temple on the verge of collapse. I felt that. Other humor was kind of hit or miss for me, but the tone of the book is consistent. It never gets too unserious. It's a great balance of kind of like silly and entertaining and kind of a bit dark at times. Now, the plot is a little thin on the ground in terms of the antagonist's ability to do what he does. I'm not saying magic-wise, like all of that made sense, but more like how the Queen's forces haven't taken him out on their own. I was like, why? Why do they really need a necromancer to do this? Like, I don't know. I just felt like something was missing there for me, and maybe I missed it or something. Maybe I was tired and was reading, but I was just like, wait, why do they need him so much for this? The character storylines, though, do make up for the kind of minimal plot. Sycrus has some great issues and ravaging guilt, which holds him back from moving on with his life, and Hespera, who is the other main character, has her own self-worth problems to contend with. They work well as a pair. They kind of bounce off one another, because she's a little bit, it's not so much grumpy sunshine, it's kind of more like, almost like, I don't even know how to describe their relationship. I guess it can't really fit into a trope, because they're both not really kind of tropey characters at all, which I thought was really, really good. I guess they work well kind of as friends. But when it comes to them being a couple, I didn't really ship them. They don't start really crushing on each other until about like 40 or 50% into the story, and their love story is almost overshadowed by the rest of the plot. I wasn't entirely sure what kind of drew them to one another, actually. It just, I don't know. It didn't feel forced. I just was kind of like, I don't know. I didn't really feel it. It's also hard to ship people when one keeps talking about their dead wife. Likewise, the spice level is like paprika level. Like, it's not very spicy. There's barely any yearning. It's very slow burn, which I liked. But yeah, there's no kind of bedroom payoff, if you get what I'm saying. Don't get me wrong, I appreciated how mature and realistic they were as characters, especially given they were in their like mid-30s, but the book almost might have worked better for me as a fantasy with a love story kind of side plot as opposed to being like a romantasy. I also wanted a bit more on how the underworld, the afterlife, the basic world setup functioned. As you know, I'm very into like logistics and stuff like that, and so I was kind of like, I want a bit more with the politics. I also loved that Hespera, though, was a demon character, and I wanted a bit more on how her society functioned. Like, how and why she escaped the indoctrination of her people, I wasn't exactly clear on. Like, is everyone trying to escape the underworld? I don't know. It's possible we'll see more about this in the second book, though, as it seems like it's leading into that for sure. Now, I'm giving this book 4 stars. I really did enjoy it. It's just, I find, like, without getting into spoilers, I kind of have some things that, like, it's like a bunch of little minor things that kept it from being a 5-star for me. So this is more an explanation as to why I wasn't like obsessed with this book. I did think it was really good, and I did really, really enjoy it. The action scenes are really fun. It's just the pacing is kind of a bit strange too. Like, the whole thing takes place over like a week or two, yet people who've never met before are like in love. Friendships are like BFF level after like a couple of conversations, and the length of time it takes to get from point A to point B and then back again was very inconsistent. As I said, though, the fight scenes are super fun. The story moves at a good pace and had some really fun scenes. There was a great one with like a snooty wizard that I thought was great. And the dialogue is very snappy. You know, there's a character who seems to be a villain who has a very understandable motive, which was a nice twist too. Like, there's a lot going for this story that is really, really great. So yeah, again, like a solid 4-star read. There's just a few things that could have been tightened for me. I did really enjoy it, though. I thought it was fun. And I think I would read the second one. As long as Ben comes back. Anyway, thank you very much to Orbit for the e-arc. I really appreciate it.